Holland, what the fuck are you doing, bro? What the fuck are you doing, man? I know I can't be the only one who's tired of Kevin Holland's shit, bro. This guy's a 32-year-old man. Kevin Holland is 32. And I'm not saying that's old as shit, but that's mature enough to not act like you're too cool to do your career. Not your part-time job, not a job at Wendy's, not a job at McDonald's, not a job at IHOP, not a corporate job, not a job at a desk, not a 9 to 5. You achieved a career that 99% of people in your shoes would not be able to. Yet you think you're too cool to step up to the plate and perform, or at least to try to perform. Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's here T. And I'm here to talk about, a little bit about Kevin Holland. Just came back from the gym, so, alrighty, I gotta ramble a bit. Now, to be honest, I was going to drop this video on Saturday right after the fight. But I said, you know what, let me give myself some time to think. Let me actually analyze this situation and know how to approach this conversation. Because my mindset at first was just to get on here and cook this man, bro. But, with time, I decided to take a different approach. I decided to focus more on a mental analysis or a mental breakdown of Kevin Holland. Now, not anything in depth at any means. This is nothing in depth. It's just kind of, surface level breakdown to kind of discuss where I think Kevin Holland is mentally in 2025. So to take it back to, I think 2000 and, was it 22 or 23? 22 or 23 when Kevin Holland fought Chimaev, right? So a late last minute replacement. I do believe this was when everything took a downturn mentally for Kevin Holland. Now, if you know Kevin Holland before this time, so especially his 2021 run, he was the hottest prospect on the block, right? There was even a time there was a conversation between him and Angel Adesanya. I don't know if you guys remember that, but they were meant to actually, there was heat, there was a rivalry brewing up, and we were looking forward to seeing that fight. Today, that's not even on anyone's minds at all. But that's because there was a competitive edge in Kevin Holland. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not one of those people who buy his hype too much. I do not think Kevin Holland is that guy who's going to take over the division if he dots his I's and crosses his T's. I do not think that. But I do believe he had the chance to be at least a top seven ranked fighter. And now, 2025, he's 1-for-4. Mind you, not coming off a bunch of wins, still being inconsistent, but he's just 1-for-4 in his last 5 fights. So again, going back to the Chimaev fight, I do believe this was a very pivotal moment in the mindset of Kevin Holland. And I'm going to try to get interviews that were before the fight versus after the fight. But if you guys know Kevin Holland at this time, especially right before the Chimaev fight, it was just something more competitive about him, right? We would see a Kevin Holland and we just know, oh yeah, this is going to be a barn burner. It's going to be a fight. Like, even if he gets cooked, he's going to put in his best. But that fight, I feel like, and anyone who trains any martial arts would kind of understand what I'm saying. There's that feeling when, you think you've done something so much and you believe you're so good at it that a certain type of loss is just too much. It's just too much of a reality check. And I do believe that Chimaev loss was just too much for him to handle. And I think that's where the Kopi attitude that we all know him today to have sort of became evidence to everyone. I'm not going to say that's where it was born, because I don't know what the fuck this guy used to be like before. He's always kind of had an attitude, but it wasn't ever to this extent. But that was where it became very evident, right? After that fight was when things became it was a downhill spiral for them, I'll say. From there, it was a downhill spiral for Kevin Holland. So why do I say that? Why do I say, this fight is so important? Because if you guys don't remember, or if you haven't watching the sport that long, Chimaev absolutely destroyed Kevin Holland in the first few seconds of the fight. Mauled him and even contributed heavily to the reputation we know Chimaev to have today, right? That beast who just walks anyone. He was the Robert Whittaker before Robert Whittaker. Basically he freaking demolished him before he demolished Whittaker. And I was watching a MMA Guru's live stream a few days ago, and he made the perfect analogy for Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland is that dude who starts seriously, right? You're playing a video game. Let's say you guys are running the UFC 5 or you're running the car, right? I'm going to use UFC 5 because I use that a lot. So, you guys start the fight off well, first round, cooking in. Both of you guys are going back and forth. There's no clear winner, right? And you start getting to the second, third round. And let's say you start chopping at his body health or his leg health. Anyone who plays the game for real, comment in the comment section if you know what I'm talking about. Play the game for real, bro. Once the body starts going, the fight is done. Especially if it's a close fight. Once you see that shit start blanking, bro, you might as well quit the game. Unless you're very close to knocking the other guy out too. Kevin Holland is that guy that once his body health starts blinking, he is done, right? He starts doing constant head movement. He's spamming the head movement, going in circles. He's just spamming head kicks. He's trying his best to make it seem like he doesn't give a fuck. I don't care about losing this fight. And that's fair for a video game. I mean, everyone despises those people, but it's fair for a video game. When this is your career and your life, what does that say about you as a person? How do you expect to improve if your mindset is to quit at adversity? If you see what I'm saying here, if you see the comparison I'm trying to make. Once you come across adversity, it's either fight or flight. Are you going to fight to try to improve and get better? Or are you going to break and just accept defeat but mask as if you don't care? And I feel like that is the mental state of Kevin Holland today, right? I feel like Kevin Holland goes through these. Anytime he comes across a challenger who is seemingly better than him at something, his mindset is, oh, I don't give a fuck. I'm just going there to have fun. Oh, I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to learn grappling. Oh, I don't give a fuck. I'm just here to get paid. I don't give a fuck about that fight. Like, look at what he did at fucking Rapping Jackson's podcast a few days ago. That was one of the most embarrassing things I've seen in my life. Talking about, I don't give a fuck about the fight. I want to fight you right now. Brother, you could barely even beat Vittori. And you talking about fighting Rapping Jackson. So I don't give a fuck about a fight because of a small comment. Shit like that is just embarrassing. That leads to my second point. So the first point I made here about the Kevin Holland's mental state in 2025 was, him just not being able to accept his skill discrepancies or things to improve on. Second thing will be, I do believe personally, Kevin Holland has lost the love for the sport, right? When you watch a person who's lost that fire, it's very evident. And it's unfortunate to be the case because a lot of people, people lose that love from winning a lot, right? You win too much that it gets boring, that you need some sort of a loss to get you back in the head zone. Or some people are just, they just naturally love it. But I do believe Kevin Holland has lost that fire to make him want to go out there and compete. So what does he do? He just comes in with this nonchalant, bad boy attitude, trying to be a Nate Diaz-esque character. The issue with that is that anyone is replaceable in this sport. No matter how cool or loved you think you are, brother, 2 more losses, and that too is because Dana White likes him. 2 more losses, I'm 100% sure Holland will be out of this, the UFC, out of the promotion. So it's one of those things that I just believe he's lost that fire to make him want to put in the extra steps, the extra work to actually compete. He doesn't think, especially, believing that, losing that confidence in yourself. He doesn't believe he could be a champion. So he probably has lost that fire, which is understandable. But now, if your goal is to be a Nate Diaz-esque character, right? That bad boy, whatever the fuck you want to do, a big 32. You want to be that bad boy? All right. Then how do you approach that? I do believe you have to go for entertainment. So you can't be getting cooked in 1 minute, bro. If you want to be that bad boy, you gotta go out there and prove that you're the baddest man, bro. Because people always look at Nate Diaz like, oh man, he's just a goofy, But people don't say that. But everyone knows what I'm talking about, bro. You look at Nate Diaz, you think he's just a clown. He's just funny as fuck. He's about to go out there and get beef for the whole fight. But Nate Diaz actually goes out there and gives his best. And whether it gets cooked or not, he's going to give his best. Like, for instance, look at the Leon Edwards fight. He was getting embarrassed, tripped, kneed, elbowed, and almost won the fight at the end. That's the difference between a Nate Diaz and a Kevin Holland. And Nate Diaz has such a resume as well that certain losses too still don't sting as much. But Kevin Holland, you're not that guy, dude. Your best win right now is Buckley, which is proven out to be pretty good, but it's not a resume-defining win for you to think you don't give you don't give a fuck about the sport, or you're too big to go out there and put in the effort, I do believe that Kevin Holland is trying so hard to have this bad boy personality, but your performances have to back that up. If you go out there and striking, you have to be able to impose your will and walk through fire to be this bad boy you want to be. So yeah, there's that. I do believe Kevin Holland, could he bounce back? To be fair, I don't think Kevin Holland can ever really improve, and that's because of the first point I made. You have to accept your defeat without rage quitting halfway in the fight, or rage quitting halfway in the camp, or in the press conferences trying to cope already before the fight. You need to accept your skill deficiencies and go work on that. But he's 32. How much time do you have? I don't even think you have time to do all that. So for that reason, no. Could he get some more fun fights? Yes, but that's a Dana handcrafts this fight. They have to put him in a position where it could be a fun fight. Because this fight was meant to be an interesting fight, but it wasn't even, it was. I don't even know if he landed a clean shot the whole fight. So, no, I don't know, man. I don't know. I used to be a big fan of Kevin Holland, but it's just hard to support this guy sometimes. It's really hard to support him sometimes just because of the lack of effort. It's a different thing if you try and you lose, but when you don't even try at all, it's a damn shame, bro. It's just not, it's not good enough, man. You get paid a lot of money to do what a lot of people wish they could do, And then you're in a trash weight class too, bro. Like, you have no excuse, man. So, yeah. Man, I don't know, man. I don't know what's next for this guy. You might as well just go to BK. If you don't want to grapple, bro, you don't want to get on the ground, you don't want to do jiu-jitsu. I know, bro. I hate that shit too, man. I like standing and swinging. So I stay away from it. But rather go to boxing. Go fight Darren Till or some shit. Go do a BKFC, karate combat. So Muay Thai. Might as well go to one champion. Bro, there's so many opportunities out there. I know it's not going to be the same money, but at least you're doing what you love. Because, man. Anyways, y'all, let me know what you think. Again, just a quick, uneducated rabble of Kevin Holland. Wish you guys all the best. Take it easy.